Latin America that I know and love. But we're going to get on right into it. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side here as the red TerraN, it is TerraN.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, perhaps he hasn't been practicing that much lately in the top left side. We're looking at the main base of our Mexican Zerg, a streamer, a content creator, and he has played a lot of random, but in the DreamHack Masters, he's still just Zerg. It's JimRising.
That was two exceedingly fast SCVs being sent out here. The second one, a bit early, but in fact, is he going to send out a third one? Oh, wow. He is... Kevin, I hope you didn't screw me up this one, but I like it, man. I like this kind of stuff, because going through those minerals here, this is kind of the way that you wanted me to play against Cyril that one time when you wanted me to steal his MMR.
Indeed. Now, there is one thing we have to keep in mind, guys. And what we have to keep in mind is that Special is in this group too. Special has won the last 5 editions of the DreamHack Masters Latin America. And there's always a chance that TerraN looks at this and is like, well, even if I win my opening match, I'm going to have to play against Special, and that's not going to make me advance to the playoffs. So does the first best of 3 truly matter?
You are kind of right. A lot of these like 4-man group stages can come down to the deciders match to really, see what happens. JimRising will get a scout on this most likely here, depending on what this overlord chooses to do, but they will see a little bit of a party going on here, and then he's like, but TerraN knows about it also.
Yep, TerraN knows about the overlord. Jim has been mining gas. At first, Overlord could potentially be in a bit of trouble. One of the barracks could obviously get lifted, but that does delay the production time, so that's not going to happen. Jim decides to send that drone back into the main base, and he's got Zergling speed. I think he's going to try to Baneling bust out of this. We have seen this before. This works if TerraN's a stubborn and they have like 1 bunker or 2 bunkers next to each other. But if you just keep building bunkers, you can never Baneling bust out of this.
No, you certainly can't. TerraN was a little bit supply blocked there momentarily, but we do see that he's still SCVing back at home. He's getting his gas up now. Like, this is absolutely a big commitment from him, like the 3 racks. But yeah, you're totally right. JimRising going for the Baneling approach, which is a little wild, but if these bunkers are all sat together, I mean, he could maybe do it.
Yeah, sending quite a few Zerglings already around these bunkers. We don't have a wall of yet at home, so this can get very annoying. TerraN is going to rally the additional Marines towards his main. He's supply blocked again, by the way. 31 out of 31. Don't hate me, Benjamin.
I mean, I'm already... Okay, I do like the position that TerraN's got himself into, obviously, but yeah, these supply blocks, they're definitely going to be a bit crucial. Okay, that bunker behind the wall is actually really good, and the fact that he's lifting up now and he'll see these links and it's like, Well,
I have one question though. Isn't that bunker almost too close that if we put the Banelings between the 2 depots on the top side, or on the right side rather, do you think the Banelings could splash towards the bunker?
Yeah, I think they could, but I mean, okay. I think so, very possibly, because I'm thinking about those Banelings on Blackburn, where they're behind the gold minerals. They can actually hit the workers if placed correctly, but is JimRising going to do it? Oh, he's going for the Banelings at home as opposed to aggressively. I think that's a decent move, actually, but we'll see what he can get done.
Yep, well, it's a full wall off. He is going to get 1 of the bunkers, might get 2. We could repair the bunker. Oh, no. All right, well, there's still 1 bunker full of Marines, and that's going to be hard to clean up. And in 4 minutes and 14 seconds, which was way shorter than it took these guys to set up the lobby for this one, TerraN will take the 1-0 lead in this best of 3.
I do wonder how that veto process went. Like, was JimRising like, oh, I don't want to die in 4 minutes on this map, but on this map either? Like, whether he was the one doing it long or TerraN, because TerraN so far, he just has been like, go. Like, he joined the lobby, he was go. JimRising is very, very talky. Who knows, man, who knows? But that was definitely a bit of a wacky way to start things off, I think. But nicely handled by TerraN. Just solid 3 racks.
Coming from the 3-Rex expert, that means a lot, guys. This man has upset Idra back in the days. I mean, you'd be shameless too. You'd be sitting 2 feet away from someone else, and you'd still be 3-Rexing them, walling them in on Cloud Kingdom. And then Benjamin walks around wondering why is Roddy my only friend? I'm like, well, Ben, maybe this is not the best way to get people on your side.
Yeah, now that I look back, Kevin, it's no surprise that some of my housemates hated me at times, I guess. But no, I mean, like, I thought it was all fun and games, you know? I thought it was all fun and games. I didn't realize I was making people upset and mad and what have you. But yeah, that was a solid 3-Rex if I've ever seen one.
Game 2 is going to be played on Blackburn. Now, obviously, a map where we could Nidus, we could also go for Aspire, or we could pretend that this is a regular best of 3 and analyze all the things that Zerg could do, where they can get away with it. We saw sort of play on this map earlier, but Jim is just not your standard Zerg. Hey, we do have player caps. I've actually never seen TerraN. TerraN looks pretty cool.
He looks pretty cool, actually, yeah. I must admit, it's the first time I've seen him too. A little bit of a cheeky smile, swigging on the water. A normal-sized bottle of water for once.
Took a look at that camera. I was like, did you guys like that? That 3-Rex? Oh, yes, we did, TerraN. Oh, yes, we did. Tiago Totola is his name. Today we learned.
Now say JimRising's name.
Jaime Arturo Duran Silencio.
It's a cool name, actually.
Yep. I agree.
Oh. You go, Kev, you go.
All right. In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of the man who we know is capable of playing some proper late game TVZ, but of course we don't know how much he's been playing lately. Maybe he's going to show us a little more than the 3-Rex here on Blackburn. This is TerraN.
And spawning over in the bottom right as the blue Zerg, it is JimRising.
Now, jokes aside, I believe the main reason why it took them a little while to get the lobby and the vetoes going is because I think they had a little disagreement on what server they should play. Of course, things can get a little bit tricky because JimRising, he'd probably love to play on the Central America server, or, well, East or West shouldn't change that much for him. Maybe it changes a little bit. But maybe TerraN was trying to squeeze in a game on the Brazilian server there, and maybe that's what they were arguing over.
That's a nice thinking there, Kevin. That could be something that you could spend a bit of time talking about. What I saw them type was they just, their Discord server where they were trying to do vetoes wasn't working, though. That's what I thought their server issues were about.
Oh, I mean, that'd be very wild, because they could have just done it on Battle.net.
Yes, that's why I found it even more funny that you started bringing it up just now, because I was like, yeah, that'd be legit. But no, I think they were talking about Discord servers.
No, I don't think they were. I mean, okay, if you're right, then my story is completely irrelevant. What I do know, though, is that we have a much more normal game here. It's going to be Reaper Fast Expand coming out of TerraN. JimRising, you already said it. This man loves his Mudas. If we had a contest about who loves Mudas more, would it be Railgun or would it be JimRising?
Railgun.
Yeah?
100%.
Okay.
I've never played somebody so much in a row that would live and die on the 2-base Muda. Like, I have never killed somebody so much knowing exactly what he's going to do as Railgun that still didn't want to switch out of it.
Well, one drone is going to have to morph into a sport crawler. JimRising does do so. Other drone low on HP.
Oh.
What? Okay, neither thing should happen there, guys. Amazing catch for JimRising, trapping the Reaper to that extractor. But on the other hand, TerraN did still get a drone kill. If you're a TerraN, Ben, are you okay? Or you're like, no, Reaper is more important?
Reaper is a lot more important, yeah. That's definitely a bit of a win for JimRising there. Doesn't have to worry about that at all. Stops the, or allows your queens to be even better defense against all that stuff as well. And you can also be like, oh, the scouting's gone for the 3rd base now. Like, what stops JimRising from doing anything that he wants? And I keep watching JimRising on the webcam, dude. It's a lot of people when they're singing, they look like they're really happy. He looks like he's in pain.
I mean, maybe he's singing very emotional songs. Who knows?
What do you think he's listening to? Avril Lavigne?
No. Jimbo does not strike me as an Avril Lavigne. I have no idea, mate. I don't really know any Mexican singers or stuff. So.
Where's Despacito from?
I think it's an American song, man.
Uh-huh. I don't know. It's not in American.
No, but there are a lot of people in America that don't necessarily speak American or English.
You're so silly, Kev.
All right, we have a pretty quick lair on the way for JimRising. We did manage to pick off 2 SCVs, so that's obviously kind of nice for him.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely the kind of start that JimRising was looking for, I think. Getting the Reaper. Yeah, you lost a drone, but getting 2 SCVs in return, I mean, this is kind of the best opening you could hope for. Oh, that's a lot of gases coming up, so most likely mutas, right? Or speed bane all in. We've seen wilder things happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to get very quick access to Baneling speed, but we don't just make things up, guys. We study some games of JimRising, we watch his stream, and you're like, all right, that man still has a very, very heated affair with the Mutalisk. He loves it, can't get away from them. He's going to try to get his script going a little bit, not going anywhere. What do you make of this quick armory, by the way, for TerraN?
I think he's just going to do a Hellbat all-in and hope to kill his opponent before he gets going, which, if JimRising just has what he has, I mean, he does have the Baneling Nest, so he's been pretty respectful of his opponent. Like, he's got all the tools he needs to stop this, but, oh, TerraN, no 3rd CC on the way either. Okay, right. Kevin, at this point, I'm worried because you made me go 2-0 on TerraN, because I think TerraN's got this.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a lot of Banelings on the way, but that's the only thing that JimRising will have. Now, of course, Queens are very good too, but that's a lot of Hellbats. TerraN does have a little bit of high ground vision. I almost think that Jim should just run his Banelings in. That's what he does, but nice reaction here by TerraN. Very good stuff. Does take a lot of damage on his Banshee, but that Spire is still not done, and just a couple of Zerglings not going to do it. The Banelings need good connections. One Banshee did go down, though. This is actually starting to look a bit dire for TerraN.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I mean, these Banshees didn't get done what he wanted to. This 3rd base is super late. Oh, I'm hating you, Kev.
I mean, I never told you to follow in my footsteps.
No, you were so strong-willed about it, man. This is like back in Warcraft 3 when you told me that Farseer is better than Blade Master. I'm like, no, Kevin, no. But you kept on making it for 4 years.
Then you should have learned your lesson. It's not my fault you never learned. Yeah. I mean, Jim is in a very good spot now. TerraN does have Stim on the way, but it's going to take a little while before it's done. The Hellions will sneak in to get a couple of drone kills. This is not bad stuff by TerraN. It also buys some time to get a couple of turrets up. You know, I actually don't even hate it that much for TerraN, as long as he doesn't just die against a couple of Lings, Banes, and Mutas. But if I look at the numbers now, this is not that bad, to be honest.
I mean, not that bad, but not good, right? Like, he's having to commit so much to these turrets, which isn't entirely necessary, like the amount that he's making. But if the roles were reversed and it was like JimRising this far behind, I'd be like, okay, then it's kind of done. But yeah, now we've kind of got a game on our hands, and it's kind of cool to see.
I think it's going to be quite hard for these turrets to find a lot of damage. Actually, for the Mutas, because the Muta count is just not that high. Now, canceling Stim would be a very big deal. Jim may start believing that this is a possibility, but the Muta count just wasn't quite there. Stim is done 8 seconds from now. JimRising up to 65 drones, heading into 70. TerraN is just going to have to display some good micro by the looks of it.
I mean, good micro, and I like TerraN's build, like this Hellbat Banshee, it really was kind of like a real hope and a prayer. Oh? Well, welcome to LATAM, boys.
I mean, we all mess up a rally point every now and then. It's just 4 drones taking a look at that slow zone. What just got picked off? That must have been the Banshee, right?
Yeah, it's definitely the Banshee.
Yeah, the last remaining Banshee.
So, +1 armor starts up now for JimRising, which, I mean, that's an upgrade that you do get it a lot later with Mutas. This Muta count, though, Kev, it's really damn high. Like, 13 Mutas already on the field. Like, this situation right now, he could just drone up like a madman if he wants, and there's not really much TerraN can do about it in this situation.
No, but JimRising is not the guy that really loves droning up like a madman. He loves to just fight. He's gonna squeeze out a few more drones now. There are a couple of turrets. Actually, Widowmines were burrowed. He's got 2 in the medevac, 2 all the way at the bottom of his main. I kind of like those. Those are gonna be hard to see. Mira's looking for a bit of damage. I mean, JimRising also loves taking fights off creep. I still don't think it's that bad for TerraN, man.
Okay, if JimRising attacks here, which he is doing, then absolutely. Oh, I mean, nice bit of play by both of them there. This is a very stimmed up army, man.
Yeah, no combat shield yet. There are a couple of Widow Mines. Oh no, he misclicked. We do have the Widow Mines here. They fire at the Lings and Banes. All right, now JimRising is finding the damage that he's looking for. That's 25 SCVs down the drain real quick. I take everything back. I kind of hate it for TerraN.
I'm done with you, Kev. I'm never listening to your prediction again. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, TerraN in a world of trouble. He's got 28 workers against 65. JimRising's doing the thing where he's just droning up like a madman again, which is absolutely the right call. I mean, at this point, after dealing that much damage, anything is the right call for him. I mean, it's going to be +2 mutas soon, and there's actually just as many mutas on the map as Marines at this point. I mean, brutal.
Yeah, we're gonna need some absolute magical Widowmine connections, and that ain't happening yet. Good job there by JimRising, picking up a couple of these mines. The fact that TerraN stimmed twice when the Marines did not have combat shield yet was very painful, and then obviously the doors were open too. I'm gonna say JimRising did a good job in avoiding a couple of these potential big Widowmine connections. Things are looking mighty fine for him now. Meanwhile, Vardy's also like, what? It's just full of it. I've seen TerraN play way better games than this, I promise you that.
Yeah, I mean, like, his build was weird, man. Like, he did the Hellbat push, and then he went second and third barracks behind it, not a third CC. I'm almost willing to bet that he might have forgot that he didn't make the third already. But, yeah, just a bad situation to find yourself in. And when your opponent has this many mutas...
Banelings!
Yeah. Oof.
Once more, Goose connection, so there weren't any additional SCVs to kill. So even if the Widowmine shot at the Banes was alrighty, I mean, JimRising still got all the worker kills. Army supplies 74 against 70. And what I find crazy, by the way, is that JimRising is still flying around without an overseer. Why would he do that?
Kevin, he's just trying to keep it exciting for his viewers, you know? It's like, oh, is he going to run over a few Widowmines? And it's like, maybe. I mean, he absolutely could. Oh, these mutas are getting the... I wish those Widowmines were still at the bottom of the map, eh?
Yeah. Oh, they are!
Oh! Ah, juicy.
Yeah. Units lost resource step is now still a little bit in favor of JimRising. So TerraN's still losing 700 resources more despite all of that. JimRising even fires up a hive now. He's like, you know what's better than +2 mutas? +3 mutas. That's kind of funny. You don't see those super often.
Kevin, have a look at the worker tab. It is it is just not good. 23 versus 83. I mean, okay, I love or when I say I love, no, I like this game is, it's really bad for TerraN, man. Like the fact that he's attacking now is his best chance. But,
What? Oh no, moves a lot of the Marines into the Banelings. I thought if all the Widowmines would siege up there, it'd actually be kind of hard for JimRising to run into it, because the army supplies were very close, but a lot of the Banelings was running head first into those Marines, or the other way around, but it was obviously bad for the Marines. This is going to do it. GG. JimRising wins game 2 convincingly. Who would ever doubt JimRising, you know what I mean?
My sweet innocent Kevin just talking about, oh, maybe he can do it. Like, oh my goodness.
Mate, he had 9 mines there, 9 mines, and even in upgrades.
Mate, he could have had 20 mines there. He was done. Absolutely done.
I've seen people run into fields of Widow Mines being a bit indecisive, then they retreat.
Yeah, maybe on our streams, Kevin, you have, but like it's, I mean, this was, I mean, JimRising actually played a pretty good game. It's got to be said.
Do you think that perhaps one of the biggest mistakes for TerraN was losing his first Banshee the way he did? Because that first Banshee was kind of ahead of the Hellbat pack. And it's obviously nice to get high ground vision with your Banshee, but the Banshees are the real damage dealer there, right? Like, they go to town, obviously, on the Queens. The Queens have to run away from the Hellbats. But if you lose one Banshee immediately, then it feels that the rest of the push just doesn't really have that punch to it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if I was talking about what could he have done differently, I think the build order choice honestly really bit him in the butt. I don't know if he was just like, you know what, screw it, lost my Reaper, I'm going to do this. But not going for a third CC automatically puts you in this kind of all-in situation. You know, you've seen it in the past where Terrans didn't go for a third, they got down like 3 or 5 barracks very quickly. But they weren't quick enough, and then he went for this 10 Hellion Hellbat push with Banshees. I mean, that was a build back in like 2012. But ever since people started making a lot more Queens and Banelings and being safer, I think ultimately the build order choice got the better of TerraN a little bit there. Because I'm with you. Like, I think this isn't the best I've seen TerraN, because I have seen him when he's duked out with other players in this region. He's been actually really damn good.
Yep, especially those best of threes against Eric, where they had crazy best of threes in the upper bracket, in the lower bracket. Those were incredibly fun to watch. I feel like last game was on US Central, and now we are in United States East. So maybe they did have a little disagreement over the servers, but it feels that neither server should be particularly great for TerraN, and they should definitely favor JimRising a bit.
Yeah, all the servers are like still way further away from TerraN than JimRising, which, I mean, it's hard to get a server that's good for both of these guys, I suppose. But I do want TerraN to just kind of go with something a little more orthodox, you know? I feel if he just plays a standard game against JimRising with, like, he goes for a 3cc build or something like that, either the 2-on-1 after it or the Cloak Banshee, I think he's going to be in good shape.
Yeah. I mean, it's also just still tricky to really say a whole lot about this best of three, because this is just one of the downsides, in my opinion, of the GSL format, where there is one player who clearly is the big favorite. That player is special. That maybe neither of these guys looks at this best of three and like, I don't think it really matters all that much, even though you do avoid going up against Ryu, and I think that's quite nice, or Ryu, because he is actually quite good too. So he's the fourth player in this group. Anyways, let's see what Game 3 has in store for us. In the top right side, who would ever doubt this man? Representing Timbers Esports, it is JimRising.
And spawning over in the bottom left, as the red TerraN, it is TerraN. So I just realized if TerraN now takes it 2-1, I'll obviously be a bit upset at you, Kevin. But if JimRising takes it 2-1, Wardy's going to be absolutely fuming with you.
And Twitch chat will be just laughing at us.
Yeah.
We were unanimous 2-0 for TerraN across the board. Twitch chat disagreeing with us. They may actually get some points on us. Let's see how this goes. JimRising seemed to be rather paranoid about being potentially 2 or 3 wrecks once more. So he scouted everywhere with his drone in the top left side. The overlords are kind of covering the center and the right side of this map. But TerraN is not doing anything along those lines.
Yeah, it's definitely a sign of confidence that he's willing to go out with a drone like that and scout a lot of places, having the overlords cover a lot of the other areas as well. JimRising's so, what's it called? Expressive on webcam, Kevin. Were you ever this expressive when you played?
No, probably not. Not like Jim, not like Raynor. I don't know. I just mumble a little bit to myself whenever things go wrong. You know, you're losing Grunt early on or a Zealot, and you're like, it's going so bad. Everything is a disaster.
You know, you've started doing this one thing recently that I feel really, really sad when it happens. Like, you know, you lose a unit or something goes bad or a Widowmine hits a Phoenix, you'll be like, no! And I'll be like, oh no, it went wrong again, because I'll have it on in the background, you know, while I'm doing something else. I'm like, oh, poor Kevin, it's one of those days, eh? But yeah.
I mean, my Phoenixes deserve better. They've done so well for me. And when I know there are Widowmines out there, you shouldn't fly into them. Anyways, let's see what TerraN can get done with his Reaper. Obviously, you don't want to lose it against 4 Zerglings, the way it happened on Blackburn. There's also a chance, I was just thinking about this, that maybe TerraN, after he lost his Reaper, expected JimRising to do something crazy early on, because he knows what kind of a player JimRising obviously is. So maybe he's like, you know what, I'll just stay on 2 bases for a bit, because after I lose my Reaper, I obviously can't scout. JimRising knows I can scout, and JimRising being JimRising, he may just all in me. That's a possibility as well.
I think you're actually very onto something. That would be the far more logical thing to be thinking about is build order choice and stuff. TerraN's being good about trying to scout here, but JimRising also. This is big. Oh, he didn't go for it. I kind of like the fact that he didn't go for it, but he's got to know that something's going on. But JimRising kind of playing to his image a little bit, because he does love his mutas, but you can't put it past a muta guy that he can go roaches every so often.
It's obviously a good map for roaches. JimRising has been mining quite some gas. He is sending out a drone now. It's kind of funny how the drone just very casually skipped the Reaper. And it's like, cool, we can just go up to 3 bases here. And that's kind of a big deal, right? Because normally, oh no! Okay, I'm losing the Reaper too against 4 Zerglings right before the Hellions made it to the other side of the map. And now JimRising starts building roaches. TerraN doesn't really know about this yet. He is building nothing but Marines. Wardy is in shambles, who predicted a 2-1 victory for JimRising. This is starting to look really good for Jimbo.
Yeah, I mean, these Hellions taking this route around the map too. I mean, I think, okay, if as long as he just runs up and finds out that roaches are happening, then he absolutely still has a chance of holding this, which he does. He finds out about it pretty fast. Oh, he's going to the main, eh? Okay, I mean, that's one way to go about this. I think that might be a bit of an overreaction, but hey, he probably knows his opponent far better than I do. And
well, he doesn't know about the 3rd hatchery yet, man.
No, he doesn't, but that drone count, Kev, as long as he survives, should be okay, shouldn't he?
Yeah. And I think he actually probably will survive. I mean, oh, Rosabal actually connected with the Hellion there. TerraN trying to make these units durable a little bit, raising the depot, going up again. JimRising realizing that he's not going to kill a 1-base TerraN. So he's like, all right, happy droning season has returned. What is Jim going to do here? He doesn't have an Overlord, so it's going to be a bit hard to
take
pick
that
up a couple of depots. And let that be a lesson, okay?
Yeah, don't try and land again. Okay, I'm back home now. Yeah, I mean, obviously a bit of a weird start to the game. JimRising's like, you know what, I'm going to go back home. Wait a minute. No, I might as well.
I warned you, Orbital.
Oh, this actually is getting a bit scary for TerraN, I think, because already that's a lot of workers going down, man.
Yep, 10 SCVs down the drain. Good job by JimRising, pretending to go home. Actually was going home, and then he returns, and that tank did a lot of friendly fire on the SCVs. We were laughing about the Orbital, but the Orbital's taking a serious beating now. TerraN does have stim, and he feels that he can take this fight, especially with the tanks on the high ground. Obviously he can. JimRising's got a lot of Zerglings on the way, but the Lings are not quite here yet. So Jim does end up losing all his roaches and ravages. Taking a look at his stack ban, he does not have a lair yet on the way. What do we make of that?
I mean, he absolutely should have a lair on the way, but he's okay. He's going for 1-1. That is a choice that you can make, where you either go for a lair really fast to get bailing speed, or you go for the 1-1. I think the 1-1's actually a real good choice here. Because, yeah, TerraN's got nothing on the way here, Kevin. These Lings, this might be a bit crazy from Jim, unless you get a tank or two, which he can't. So that might have been a bit too crazy from Crazy Jim.
You got a Marauder.
2 Marauders, in fact, yeah. And 2 Marines.
There is our lair. 1-1 upgrades on the way. JimRising getting a macro hatch as well already. This 3rd base. Baning Nest gets slapped down too. I love looking at the production tab of Jim. It has to be a nightmare to play against him as a TerraN or a Protoss. Yeah, I guess CVZ is the worst of them all. Because it's like, units, drones, drones, units, drone, units. It's actually very hard to keep track of what he's doing. And sometimes I wonder if Jim is even exactly sure where he wants to go. But it's definitely been working out, because he has found himself in a mighty fine spot here. And if he doesn't take a really bad fight in the near future, I mean, he's going to be very happy with where he's at in this game.
Absolutely. Just staying alive there for TerraN. But yeah, it's going to be a 1-1 Zerg against a TerraN that's pretty damn wounded. Okay, so 1-1 does start for TerraN, but these upgrades, they're usually the opposite way around. I really think going to a 1-base situation for TerraN against seeing those roaches was a bit of an overreaction, because then you've got the ramp working against you if you want to try and get down it. Like, very often, you can defend on the low ground pretty comfortably against this kind of stuff, as long as you make
the thing is, I don't think that's where it went wrong. It went wrong when he thought it was safe. Then JimRising turned around, and we just lost a few too many SCVs there as TerraN. Because, like, at that point, when you are playing it that safe, that's fine. But then, obviously, you're not supposed to take any damage anymore, because you played it so safe in the first place. But playing it really safe and then still taking all that eco damage, I think that was just a little bit too much.
Yeah. It's just, if you defend on the low ground, you don't have to make that choice. You just defend the low ground, you know, and then you're still mining fine. And yeah, you take a little bit of damage, and it's like, okay, well, you still committed really hard to this, and as long as you made a few bunkers and a bit of a wall and stuff, like, yeah, I think TerraN still scouted it early enough, and JimRising did it in a way that was really weird too. It was like a really early Roach Warren, really late third, and then in like a weird ass 2-base all-in kind of thing. It was very weird.
Well, the third wasn't that late, right? It was like 3 minutes something. But then he was like making drones. He started making a couple roaches, and he went back into droning. But then he's like, no, this is gonna go well. Then he went back into roaches, made a couple of ravages on the other side of the map. It's just been hard to follow. Widowmine! Wow, good job there by JimRising. Splits off just 2 Zerglings. Solid stuff.
Yeah, that was actually really good by him. And he's getting to that stage as well where he's on 78 workers. 2-2 is getting close to finishing as well. Like, that's pretty damn brutal. TerraN, his armor isn't even done yet, Kev. Like, this is a really bad situation for the TerraN player.
Yep, needs to save a couple of these Marines. He's struggling a bit with the pickups. That's happened a couple of times already. We do have some big tank shots going down, but that's a lot of Zerg, man. Lynx and Banes are going to get on top of all these TerraN units. The Widow Mines, they get decent connections. Do you have a couple of Banelings left for JimRising to kill SCVs? Unfortunately, the answer is no. So what looked promising for JimRising has turned into a little bit of a disaster.
I gotta admit, I thought JimRising was just going to win right there and then. When I saw the supplies afterwards, I was like, what on earth? Because now, JimRising is actually in a bit of trouble here. I know he's got a lot of Banelings morphing, which will probably keep him alive, but yeah, definitely a bit of a disaster of a fight.
Oh, nice friendly fire down. And more friendly fire, my goodness. TerraN just killed more Marines there than Jim did in that previous fight with his big army. Nice split on the left though, picking up a couple of links. Those Widow Mines kind of betraying TerraN there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, TerraN, the 2-2 hasn't started yet. These Widow Mines were all clumped up as well. So like, they all died to the same Banelings.
Every Widow Mine has been dealing friendly fire, which obviously is a bit of kudos to JimRising, because he's clearly looking for that. But it's always a two-way dance. He's looking for it. TerraN is supposed to deny it. Not quite working out. Sometimes there's a bit of RNG involved too. It's well done by Jim. That attack into the third may not have been a success, but everything that happened afterwards was actually very good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he took a 5th base behind it all as well. Like, the one thing that definitely could be better on his end is the creep spread, but he's kept TerraN on TerraN's side of the map, which that's already a bit of a victory if you're JimRising. It's just can't let this game spiral too
run
out
by!
of control.
And these are very well upgraded links. That's a lot of Zerglings with +2 into the natural. At the same time, Banelings are going to run into the third. Is it happening? I think it's happening. Twitch chat is laughing at us. Wardy hates me incredibly much at this point. But with the Orbital going down, 22 SCVs going down, I think that Jimbos is going to take it here.
I think so as well, Kev. He just, I mean, this is a nice little drop from TerraN, but my golly, he has a mountain to climb. JimRising, he just looked the better player in this series, or at least on the day.
That mountain is the Mount Everest. I agree with you, Ben. He's got 24 SCVs and a smaller army than he had in the previous game, and worse upgrades too. Yeah, throws down a scan in the top left side, realizes that JimRising has all the bases, all the units, and I think TerraN is about to leave this one. So looking at the supplies, maybe he's gonna try just one more time. He's got one last army.
Yeah, it can't hurt to try, but that's a lot of Zerg coming your way, and Medevac's going down to the Widow Mines. I mean, yeah, brutal stuff.
JimRising is going to take it 2-1, but I believe chat thought it was going to be a 2-0, so they don't get all the points. GG, well done by Jim. That means he moves on, and he's doing something to the web.